My boss tried to take credit for my project, so I let him, and it destroyed him. I work as a software engineer at a mid-sized tech company. I had been there 3 years keeping my head down and doing my job right. My boss, Dan, was the kind of manager everyone hated. The kind who loved to take credit when things went right and blame his team when things went wrong. Everyone knew it, but no one ever called him out because he was close friends with the director. The thing is, I actually liked my job. I liked solving problems and building things that worked. So when I got assigned to a big contract with one of our biggest clients, I was excited. It was a system overhaul project worth millions of dollars, and I was the lead developer on it. I worked day and night building that system from scratch. There were weeks where I barely slept. I wrote the code, built the framework, and created detailed documentation step by step. I made sure every file and every version was backed up with my name on it, because I knew how Dan operated. A week before the final presentation, Dan told me he would be the one presenting it to the client and the upper management. He said he just wanted to represent the team, but everyone knew what that really meant. He wanted the credit. He wanted the praise. I just nodded and said, "Sure thing, Dan." The day of the presentation came. We all sat in the big conference room with the client executives and our company directors. Dan started his speech acting like he had done all the work. He was smiling, bragging about how hard he worked on the project and how proud he was of his team. But you could tell he barely understood half of what he was saying. Then one of the client's lead engineers asked a technical question, something simple that I could have answered instantly. Dan froze. He stumbled through a half answer and made it worse. The room went quiet, and you could feel everyone realize he had no idea what he was talking about. My director looked straight at me and asked if I could clarify. I stood up and walked to the screen. I explained everything calmly, step by step. I showed the live demo, fixed the bug in real time, and walked them through the architecture I had built. The client was impressed. They started asking me questions directly and ignoring Dan completely. After the meeting, my director called me into his office. I thought I was in trouble, but instead he said, "I didn't realize you built this whole system yourself. You did incredible work." A week later, Dan was quietly demoted and transferred to another branch in another city. I was promoted to lead engineer with a raise and a bonus. The director told me he wanted people like me running teams from now on, not people who just talk big. Dan tried to tell people I sabotaged him, but all the records were there. My name was on every commit, every document, every design file. There was no hiding the truth. Now I run my own team, and I make sure my people get credit for their work. Whenever someone tries to take shortcuts or steal credit, I just think of Dan, because karma might take its time, but it never misses a deadline.